Today, students, we're going to look at the essential tools for writing a descriptive introduction. We want to ensure that you are successful in writing an introduction for a descriptive essay. Here are the tools. The first sentence in the introduction should be your hook. The hook is your welcoming or your opening or your invitation to the rest of the essay. So we are encouraging you in this particular sample to use a definition. That's a kind of hook we can use. And the student writes, "The morgue is just a simple freezer on the bottom floor of the hospital filled with dead bodies." This is not the only way you can invite someone into reading further. You could use a question. In our table, here is a sample of how a student might use a question. The student writes, "Why would anyone willingly go to the morgue?" So either you can use a definition as a hook or a question. Step 2 in the process is you might use background information. Background information is sentences that allow you to connect your sentence 1, which is your hook, to your sentence 3, which is your feeling on the topic. So the background information is anything you overheard in conversation about a particular topic, anything you may have heard in the news, anything you may have read in a book that you remember, and it would be suitable to use as your background information. Here's an example of how the student used background information. Some say that they dislike it because it smells horrible. So the student gives some of the opinions of others as it relates to the morgue. The student also could have used an experience, something that you may have had an experience with, something that may have happened to you. Here's an example. The last time I visited the morgue, it was the beginning of COVID-19 and my uncle had just died. So the student gives one sentence, and that sentence tells us a little bit about what experience or exposure they would have had going to the morgue. After we would have written our background information, now we're going to give our thesis, or the big term that people use when they're writing a descriptive introduction is the dominant impression. All the dominant impression or the thesis for a descriptive essay is your feeling on the topic. So here's how we're going to express that feeling. We're going to use an adjective. Here the student has that the morgue is a creepy place. So it's very important that you use a word that is going to help us to picture what is going on in your mind. In addition to using an adjective, the student also gives us a theme or also gives us a message. The student says that the morgue is a good reminder that we all must go someday. So the student is doing this because this is going to now be the guiding word and idea that we're going to see being developed in the rest of the essay. So let's go back to our sample where we have all of the sentence fashioned into an actual paragraph. Once again, sentence 1 is going to be a hook, it's going to be a definition. Once again, sentence 2 is going to be your background information, anything you heard, people saying about the topic, anything you read in the past that is relevant to the topic. And the last sentence is going to be your thesis or your dominant impression. It's going to use an adjective, and it's going to be your last sentence. Thanks for watching.